So today I would like to talk to you about preparation for getting dreadlocks, in case this is something you thought you might want to do. So I'd like to show you my hair down first of all, and from the back so that you can see all of it. My first video I did, my hair was in a bun, so you couldn't see all of it. Hopefully you can see all of this. There's the longest bit. And what I did with my extensions is I used different colors. So I've got a very, very light red, and then I've got a medium red, and I've got a dark red, and then even a dark brown. And I just kind of blended them all together so that my hair would have varying shades and highlights, just like your hair would if it was natural, right? And then of course my natural red here. So if you take this, you can see it's pretty close. Not exact, but pretty close. And if you watch my very first video, you will see that I said I have some hair that I purchased, like so, and some hair that was my daughter's. And I can tell my daughter's hair because it's her baby hair. I cut it when she was 8 years old, and it was her first cut. So it still got that bounce and little bits of curl at the end. And then I've got some of my son's. Let me find his. Just a second here. Most of my son's hair, because his was a bit drier, being a guy, you know, not caring about moisture and all that, most of his hair is up by the top, and then I would add my daughter's to it, and hers would come down, his would be at the top, and they're all in the same lock. And this is the only one that I've got his hair at the bottom, and I have just keep conditioning it because it is a little bit drier. But I wanted to be able to pull that out, and that's why I have the blue here. This is actually silk fiber, spinning fiber for spinning silk yarn. And I just, with a hook, with a crochet hook, felted it into the hair so that I can easily find it and show him. Now I've got two more of his locks that I made and haven't put in my hair yet. And he has specifically asked me to put those somewhere in the front of my head so that he can see them. So somewhere I'm going to have to dread a little more and add. Now again, what I did is I dreaded and then left a lot of loose hair. And there's two reasons for that, and I'll get to that when I show the rest of what I did. I also have a lot of braids because I truly like the look of braids. To me, braids are very Viking, very Celtic, and that was the look that I wanted to go for, as well as they're very fairy, I think. And I just think of fairies with locks and braids. So I have a lot of braids in my hair. And what I did is, on the extension hair, is I locked the top, braided it, and then locked the bottom. So it's in there permanently. Now I could also, with all of these loose bits, I could temporarily braid these bits and then put a rubber band and then remove them. But with these that are locked on both ends, my thinking, and this is just a test to see, my thinking is that as this matures and becomes an actual lock, it will be a very loopy lock, and that's the reason why I did that way. And again, I've never seen anyone do this, and so it's a test. I want to see what will happen as the hairs actually mature and lock. So as you can see, I have a lot of decorations and beads and threads and doodads. There's another braid, and it's got silk ribbon here and at the bottom with a little bead dangling. Because that was the whole reason why I wanted to do this, is I wanted to have decoration in my hair. My hair is an art form, and I love that. Another thing that I did, and this goes back to the first thing, is why did I leave so much at the bottom, and it ties in with this, is I left my bangs, and I left a strip of hair all the way to the crown, and even, or almost even, with my bangs, so right at the top of my head. And right now I just braid that, so I can see how long my hair was. I can feel the texture of it, that silky soft texture. By just braiding that gives me a little bit of volume, extra volume. I could, tease that up and make it this or that. I could put it to the side. I can undo that and leave it down, and it will fall over the top of the dreads. And that goes into why did I leave so much out at the bottom. People who get dreads often get themselves into situations where they say, I've got this special dinner or this client coming into town or this wedding, and they don't want me to be there with my dreads, or I'm worried about how they will perceive me with my dreads. So my thinking is this will combat that. So if I were to take this out and leave it down, and I'll do that for you just so that you can see. If I take that out and put that hair down, put this hair up so that you just see the hair that's down, and wrap a scarf around the bulk of the dreads to where the loose hair just shows, I will look very normal, won't I? So that was my thinking for doing this, for leaving the top undone and leaving a goodly part of the length undone, was for those occasions that may come up that I may want to look a little more normal. Okay, so decide what you want to do, how you want to look. Do you want braids? Do you want different colors? Do you even want extensions? Maybe you don't. Maybe your hair is already long or long enough, and you can see this was my longest bit, and then I went shorter to that much because I was growing out a spiked pixie. So again, part of your preparation is deciding what you want, okay? So that's the first thing. Secondly, you want to clarify your hair. And by clarify, I mean clear it out, okay? Clean. You want to get rid of all residue. So you can buy an expensive residue remover, or you can do it the easy way like I did. I washed my hair in baking soda and water, and then rinsed it with apple cider vinegar and water, and that strips all the gunk from styling products and hair dye and hairspray, gels. I used a volumizer, plus your natural shampoo and conditioner that you were using. Do that at least a month out. For me, I did it 2 months out, okay? 2 months out. And then buy a residue-free shampoo, okay? Something without parabens and sulfates and dyes and unnecessary chemicals. Buy residue-free shampoo, and at least a month before you dredge your hair, start using that, okay? You can start putting a saltwater spray on your hair that will also help to eliminate unnecessary oils, but be careful because that will dry your hair out a little bit. You want it to be free of chemicals, residues, but you don't want it to be too dry, because if it's too dry, of course, during the locking process and after, your hair is going to break, and you don't want it to break, because if your hair gets too dry, then you run the risk of your locks eventually weakening and breaking, and you run the risk of your scalp getting really dry, and then it will itch. Now, there's going to be a certain amount of itch anyway from dreads, because it's just you're not washing as often. You're still washing, but you're not washing as often as what you may be used to. And so you get what's called sebum, which is that waxy residue on your scalp, and that just causes a natural itch. So you don't want to dry out too much, okay? So if you use a salt spray, be sure you're not putting it on your scalp. Just go, you know, through the hair. And then my loctician used a salt spray when I first arrived to reduce static and to prep the hair a little bit as she was locking it. And then I got a really, really good loctician that specialized in fine hair, which I do have. And as you can see, you can't really see a lot of scalp when my hair is down. And that was really important to me because I do not like seeing those scalp parts. Right there where my bangs kind of go. If my bangs fall over, then you can see it. But you don't see a lot of scalp, and that's because they're very small little sections. So if you have fine hair and either you're doing it yourself or you're going to someone to do it, be sure you're doing small sections, okay? So there you go. There's my advice for your prep work for pre-dreads. And start about 2 months out, at least 1 month, okay? Have a good day, guys.